Welcome as we peer into the future. The Broocher, exactly. I knew you were going to say that.
I know you did.
You may think we sound like your normal hosts of this earthly podcast, but I can assure you we are not.
They are our hosts.
Yes, we have taken on their physical vessels, but we are not them. I am a soothsayer, some would say, in your words.
Mm-hmm.
Others call me simply Obi Chris Quinobi.
Yes.
And my fellow guide as we take you into the future is Strange Mike, MD.
Honorary.
Still honorary?
Yeah, from Southern New Hampshire University.
The last year you haven't gotten that more formalized?
I have more honorary MDs.
Okay.
From ITT Tech, DeVry, Southern New Hampshire.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're still a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Technically.
Dr. Strange Mike. How are you?
Oh, it's been a wonderful week, Chris. So many good things happened.
Good.
Yeah.
To you or to that jabroni that you, whose body you're in?
There's a lot of stress in the host body that I'm feeling
I
right
see.
now.
Is that why you're so puckered? I see.
That's right.
I could sense it. I sensed it. So, once a year, we allow the other people on this earthly plane to see a glimpse of what we see at all times, which is the future, near and far, sometimes very, very, very far. Our predictions are always right. It's just a matter of how far into the future have we predicted.
That's correct.
For example, when you predicted Coldkavik would be the next big beer, you meant that's what people would be saying in the year 2030.
Right. Or it's possible that
or 3030.
That prediction was so bold it created a tangential universe in which Coldkavik became the ascendant style.
It split off.
Coldkavik Hero is crushing it.
Multiverse.
For
you multiverse
the multiverse revolution.
Well, it's funny you should mention revolutions because as this crazy blue marble that we we're revolving on, it goes round. We have another very famous soothsayer with us. One of the greats, some would say.
Maybe the greatest.
And I'm of course, talking about the three-eyed take, Jake. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, y'all. It's the takes, you know.
Oh, I know.
You know, this is the fourth year doing this. The takes are hot. You get it.
Yeah, they're burning hot. I'm glad that your mouth
it's like,
has
folks,
recovered.
it's been so cold in Chicago, folks. Have you heard this? It's been so cold in Chicago. My takes are what are heating my home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm glad that your mouth has recovered from those third severe burns.
Yeah. The takes came out so hot.
Remember?
I'm not Freddy Krueger. I'm not walking around like as a burned person. That's not.
But your takes are so hot.
Yeah.
Though that's.
Remember, your mouth caught on fire last year.
Yeah, but they don't burn. They don't.
Okay.
They're on fire.
You're like Ghost Rider.
Burning,
you know.
Yes, exactly.
That's
just
the most
like
apt
that.
analogy I've heard in a long time. Yeah.
We're waiting for the fourth member to arrive on this astral plane. We'll see if and when that happens.
How's he getting here?
Well, I could tell you, of course, but you already know, so why would I?
Great. Good point.
Thank you. So once he arrives, I guess we can kick off this shindig and start with the predictions. But until then, looks like apparently from the music, Dr. Frankenstein will be arriving shortly from his lab. Got the theremin going. But I wonder when His Majesty, Sir Nostra Douglas, will arrive. We can't start the show without him.
I think. What is that? Do you see that?
What?
Do you smell that?
I smell sulfur.
Is that burning?
Yeah, I smell. Well, oh no, wait, that's just Jake. He's on fire again. Hold on, put him out. Jake, you're on fire.
Again, I'm not burning. It's just.
But you're setting the
state.
furniture on fire, Jake.
Dude, you gotta. Okay, dude. This is from what? Wayfair, right? You gotta get new stuff anyway. Dude.
This is from
Timu.
This is from
Okay, yeah.
beergardenfurniture.com.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, spookybeergardenfurniture.com.
Yeah. All right.
No, I think that wasn't the burning. I think it's like brimstone, maybe.
Yeah.
Sulfur.
Yes. Yes.
Eye of Newt.
Is that what I'm getting?
I don't know. Maybe. Is that what you're getting?
I
you
think
can't. If you smell it, it's there.
Yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm. Well, I think whenever Nostra Douglas arrives, we can begin. Until then,
Should we text him?
we could.
Should we like time text him?
Does your third eye see where he is? Is he stuck in traffic?
yeah. I'm gonna pull him up on Skype.
Skype is
We're
still
Skype-
a big thing, huh?
Yeah, I got grandfathered into a free plan, so I'm still using Skype.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Weren't they all free?
All right, hitting up my boy.
Yeah, but
No, dude, that was me.
I
No,
don't-
the reason
I
it was
don't
free
see
is because
the
of me.
past.
The reason it was free was because of me, dude.
okay.
You can thank me for the free Skype you had.
Hot take. Always
Y'all went to
taking-
Zoom.
Always
Y'all had to go to Zoom. Okay.
always taking credit for stuff
Oh.
that everyone had.
Actually,
What?
I think Nostra Douglas is walking through right now.
Oh.
Hey, come on in, bud. Hey, look who it is.
Riding his horse. Hey.
Look who it is.
It's Nostra Douglas. He looks like he doesn't feel like talking quite yet, so we'll just sit here. Okay. Well.
He might have.
Oh.
Hello, soothsayers.
Oh. Nostra Douglas, you've brought a chill to the air with you. Are you okay? Are you feeling all right?
Just like the beer in the glasses of many of our listeners, the past has been a bit hazy, but the future, I'm here to reassure you, is clearer than ever.
Oh, good. So you
West
agree?
Coast IPA prediction coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Nostra Douglas talks a big game, but I know for a fact what the future holds. And should we get into it, or does anyone want to talk about beers they've had recently that they've enjoyed, or?
Can't see the past, Chris. The past is hazy.
Okay. Got it.
Only see the future.
Okay. All right. Understood. I get it. Same here. Well, I think where we should start is out with the old, in with what? The new.
The new.
The new. You knew I was going to say that.
Yeah, I did.
So let's talk about what some of the new things that people can expect in beer. Okay. How about, let me see where this is. Okay, there it is. What is the next new style that people are going to be hearing a lot about? We all know, obviously, but people want to be, what do they call early adopters? They want to be early adopters. They want to look cool for their friends. They want people to get FOMO at their Untapped check-ins and be like, oh my gosh, 5 bottle caps, that's insane. When can I have a beer that I'm going to give 5 bottle caps to? Oh my God, he had it as a slushie. It's amazing.
You gotta ask nice.
Yes. So, where should we begin? Who would like to talk about what the next new style of beer? Who sees it? Let me look. I'm looking into my crystal ball right now, and while I'm looking, anyone else can go. Let me look around. What do you see?
I can't look into the past, so no one look into the past and see that this is exactly the prediction I made last year. But I can genuinely don't think I can consider any style new anymore.
Nothing is new.
Everything's shades and variations of the past. Or so I'm told, since I can't see the past.
Starting off strong with a with a wimpy whiff on a prediction. Got it.
Well, you didn't want to go first.
Hey. Anyone else? What does your third eye see, Jake?
Chris, the takes they still burn bright.
Mm-hmm.
They shine bright like a diamond. Some might say.
Who would say that?
I think
Rihanna?
many people.
She's also a seer.
Okay, I'll place a bet on. This is a style that.
Our sponsor.
All right, folks. Enter code Third Eye Take into DraftKings to lose all your money, go bankrupt. I'm going to throw out. This is one that's already been talked about a little bit. I think it's been covered in the kind of the industry magazines, but broader appeal. I do think West Coast Pills will continue to ascend into a broader place in the craft beer lexicon.
Got it. So the next new style is one that will continue. Got it. And nothing is what we have so far. Maybe I should go next.
Yeah. Create a new beer out of whole cloth.
The next style will be the San Diego style IPA, and it will be called as much. Maybe the Southern California.
Well, that exists
style
too.
IPA.
That exists.
The San Diego IPA.
Let's make one up. San Diego style Pilsner.
I'm saying
Which
San
is the
Diego
West Coast Pills,
style
but,
IPA
flatter
is
brand.
the one that people are going to hear about, and many of them for the first time in 2020 something, probably 5.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. The San Diego style
It's a real Swami take on
IPA.
it.
Yeah,
So
that's what the Swami told me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it'll begin traveling, because I've seen it in San Diego called that, but I don't see it outside of it. But that is what you're seeing in the future.
Yes.
Chicago brewery making a San Diego style
Yes,
IPA.
yes, absolutely. It'll be taking over.
Just saying that's an existing style, Chris. Just saying. Just saying.
Does Hopewell make one?
No, we don't.
You will be.
Hey, that's a good idea, actually.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Already coming true. How about you, Nostra Douglas? What do you see as the next new style?
So to find the new style that's going to trend, Nostra Douglas looked outside the beer industry at other major trends. One of those is international travel. More and more people are leaving the country, taking more trips that weren't happening for a while there and making up for lost time. And as a result, Nostra Douglas sees beer, new brands being launched with familiar flavors but with international provenance.
A new take on an old classic, so to speak.
Exactly. So just like we're seeing popularity of Czech-style beers, I think we're going to see that lexicon introduced to other countries, and it will become newer, more flavor-driven than. So, for example, like a much more craft Asahi, for example, made by an American small startup brand brewery. I think we're going to see more of these that take advantage of all the additional travel, being exposed to these styles
Japanese
outside
style lager.
It's almost like a pushback on American brewing. So I think we're just going to see a lot of new brands putting a new spin on international styles.
Do you see space for those international brands being successful in America, or is it just going to be American breweries making styles from foreign countries?
I think these are going to be new startup brands, probably not building their own brewery like a craft brewery traditionally would, but more taking advantage of a available contract opportunity to create a brand that's a new take on
a whole ethos around this. Okay, I understand. I get it. So we're gonna see like a domestic Peroni competitor, I think is what he's saying. All right, got it. I love it. I love the prediction. Nostra Douglas always comes correct. Everyone knows that.
If you'd like another to make up for Mike's lack of, I
Yeah.
have more.
Please.
Another one
Protest.
Nostra Douglas is seeing a lot of brands just starting to launch is with what we're calling mid-strength beers.
Yeah.
These are not non-alcoholic, but these are not your 5% common style for, say, a craft pale ale. These are halfway in between. These are 2.5%, 3% beer brands branded after their mid-strength, such as one called Dad Strength is one. Another is called Small Beer that I've seen just launched in the last not too much time. I think we're going to see more of these. Nostra Douglas is not saying that he's bullish on the prospects of this category, but we're going to see a number of brands begin and take a stab at it.
And I have a quick question for Nostra Douglas. I know that baseball great Ricky Henderson recently
R.I.P.
joined your plane of existence. Have you been talking to him about use of the third person, perchance? I don't remember Nostra Douglas talking in the third person as much. I think Ricky Henderson maybe has
Do you think
given some tips about how to talk. I can see no other logical answer to that. But I like it. I like that Ricky Henderson is still exerting just so much, I don't know. Is still exerting so much influence on the world, even as he has left it.
what styles are these dad strength beers going to be? Because in 2022, Nostra Douglas, I think, predicted that there's no need for between 0 and 5% in the IPA category specifically. So we're not coming back with
Nostra
Fly
Douglas
Jack.
still believes that there's no need for 2.5% IPAs. However, that's not going to stop others from trying.
There we go.
And the two styles are going to be IPA and lager, American lager. The two horses right now that are leading driving the bus for
Got
this
it.
industry. IPA, lager, that's the list.
Those are the new styles that we will look out for. Nothing. Several dad strength beers, as well as what was the international travel derived but locally owned and operated. Who knows what we'll call that? The San Diego style IPA being made all over the country, all over the world, starting probably any moment now. This one's, I feel it coming.
It may have already started.
I think it probably already has. Since I've said it, though. Yeah.
Not once before.
And then, whatever Jake said, too. Okay, so moving on. We had the next new style. What is the next old style? And I don't mean old style, the lager famously associated with.
Because the new
the
old
city
style
of-
is Montucky Cold Snacks, right?
Got it, yes.
Yeah.
But what is the new style that is an old style that will be coming back and people will be seeing once again? What's old is new again. Everything moves in cycles. Everything turns. Everything comes back around. You know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Dr. Strange,
That's
Mike.
right. Well, I can't see the past, so I wouldn't know if the cycles are here.
That's true. That's true. It is. Now, does that mean you are
I can see a lot of
destined-
cycles into the future.
Now, are
That's
you
for sure.
destined to constantly make mistakes that you might have a feeling you've made over and over again because you
It
have
does.
you have no
This is
perspective
now
looking back?
Bleeding between Strange Mike and regular host Mike.
Yes. Okay.
Constantly
Got
making
it.
the same mistakes.
Okay. Interesting. So, resurgent styles of beer. What should people be looking out for? Who would like to go next? I see the third
Yeah,
eye
I'll
blazing
let me hop in here
on his
All right.
forehead.
I'll be concrete. I'll say
Wow.
alt beer.
Alt beer.
Alt beer.
Interesting.
I have no reasoning for it.
You don't need to.
I don't
it just
need
came
to.
to you.
It's just exactly.
You
It's
saw
just
it.
it's
You
it's,
saw it. Your third eye
it's
saw
fact.
it.
It's just appeared fact in my head, right? So, alt beer. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it. I think.
Final answer.
I think. Well, I think. Well, my reasoning behind it is you see breweries continuing to mine various regions or countries in terms of the styles and as Nostra Douglas said, to reference her Czech styles, things like that. I think that's alive and well. But one that you haven't really seen much attention put on that kind of fits, that's adjacent to that, is alt beer. To a lesser extent, Kolsch. I think that's already kind of had its place in craft beer. It's been riffed on quite a bit, kind of since craft beer in America has been kind of popular, right? In the last 20 years, it's always been kind of hanging around. But alt beer is not really a style you see too many people
until now.
digging in and like really kind of going after like proper representation.
You heard
and
it here
presentation.
first.
So I'm saying alt beer. We'll see
Alt
more of
beer,
that.
the next huge resurgence
Huge
style.
style.
Got
Mr.
it.
Douglas will be checking Polymarket to see if the other side of that wager is available.
There is one element that I see equally clearly with my. I wouldn't call it a third eye, but it's just I see through everything. I see through my skin. I just see everywhere, and I do think we're going to start getting away from this obsession, this obsessive avoidance of malt. I think we're going to start seeing more of that, and you're going to see that in a lot of my. Well, I wouldn't call them takes because I think that's a proprietary.
Well, it's not proprietary. It's just
Work.
trademarked.
Oh, okay, got it.
More of a fact.
Yeah,
It's a vision, a
is-
premonition.
Yes, is we're going to see more malty things, but Americans especially, they love their hoppy beers, and we all have our specialties. Nostra Douglas specializes in giant macro trends, I think, and I specialize in the
Predicting malt coming back every year
malt coming back every year.
in some way or
So I think we're going to see
predicting what they're going to be pouring at Forest in Maine when I go there to visit.
Yes, exactly. And that is, you know where it's hot right now, and usually more hot than it is
Southern
up here
Hemisphere.
in the South. That's just the South.
Oh, okay.
Like Texas, for example. Texas brown ale. You heard it here first. Going to be huge. Huge. Maybe the biggest style.
Wait,
some
this
point.
is the first category then, right? Because what's the Texas Brown Ale resurgence
Well,
coming from?
if you were a home brewer in the 80s,
no, I wasn't.
Rest in
okay.
peace, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Then you definitely would have known about this style. It's a hoppy brown ale.
That's a Rehoboth Beach brown ale, I think.
Okay,
It's an Indian brown.
I love a hoppy brown ale. I think one of my all-time goated beers from when I was getting really kind of more into craft beer. It was Dogfish Head India Brown Ale.
Indian brown. Yeah.
I love that. I
Well,
love
get
that beer.
ready. It's coming back.
That's great. I love
Big
it.
time. Big
You and me
Big time.
and nobody else will be drinking that.
Peter Gabriel style. Big time. Texas brown, hoppy
For someone who
brown.
only sees the future, that's quite a dated reference.
I was just talking to him. Well, he's alive still, but I think. But anyway, I don't live in time. I live in all time.
Oh, right. That's
I
me
see
who only
all
sees
time.
the future. My bad.
Yeah. How did you even get that reference? You can't see back.
We're buddies.
Okay.
He's a very forward-thinking musician. He was using synths, supposedly, back then.
Okay.
Anyway.
Back then, you've
I've
heard.
heard.
You'll never know.
So the only
Yeah.
prism I have to the past is this
Oh.
necromanced Google scroll
Yes.
that you have shared with us. And I found it almost impossible to believe that for this category, I never said Saison.
Ah.
So I'm going to say this is the year that people bring back Saisons, or some people just discover them for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I would like to add on to that because I've also seen that. And if it does happen, I think it's going to be the classic Saison, not this neo farmhouse ale that has some tartness to it, the kind of old Fantôme derived
Phantome's doing such a
Saison.
good job of it right now that
Yeah.
why would we need to make any versions of those?
So
Where do you think that resurgence comes from in terms of some thinking like?
Ravenswood Avenue, Chicago, Illinois.
No, I mean like are people
5121
gonna?
North Ravenswood Avenue.
Strange Mike's budget.
Is it gonna
Yeah,
be
right.
something like similar to what we're seeing with Guinness, where all of a sudden a beer becomes like resurgent and kind of part of the zeitgeist? Not to say that a saison could really do that because Guinness is Guinness, but are people's pathway to saison, is it going to come through a local brewery, or are they is all of a sudden like Saison DuPont like going to have a moment? Or
I think the former more than Saison DuPont taking over. I think there's a lot of people who have been drinking craft beer and have not moved too far out of the IPA world. And some are seeing places like ours and coming and saying, I've never had this before, or they've had ones and they don't really like them, and then they have ours, or they have ones that are thoughtfully made from other places, and they're like, I do actually like this style, and it's...
Do you have anything that's juicy? They say
That's
after
right.
they try yours.
And then
What do you
say-
have that's juicy?
We lie to them and say yes,
Yes.
and give them a will.
Another one.
Yeah. Yeah. We give them hop.
How about now? Very interesting. Who would like to go next for the next resurgent style? We've got Alt and Texas Brown Ale. You can take both of those
Saison?
and Saison, and you can take all three of those to the bank. Those are our lock, ka-ching, of the year.
if you open a bar today and you had Texas Brown Ale, Saison, and alt beer on that draft list,
Dude, you better
I
get
bet you better.
security.
Yeah, wait.
You better get security to man the front door.
All 35-plus-year-old millennials are banging down your door to get in there.
Yeah. Yo, is this the place that's serving that alt beer?
Got that alt?
How about you, Nostra Douglas?
So toward the end of the year, in a span of just like 2 or 3 days, a couple headlines crossed the beer wire right after another. The first was Molson Coors pushing all in on rekindling the flame of Blue Moon. And then right after that, literally the next day, Anheuser-Busch taking the success of Golden Road Mango Cart and going all in on a Belgian wheat beer to go national with. A big wave of dollars are about to be pushed to, just like how you started off this segment, to the beginning of the cycle. And there's no beer I point to for getting us where we are now was the Blue Moon craze in the mid-2000s and everything that did. And if we're truly going back to the beginning of some things, all this money and marketing going toward those styles does present a massive opportunity for craft breweries to put a little more into a wheat beer as interest rises.
Belgian wheat beer or any wheat beer?
Your choice.
Oh, my choice. My choice personally.
773. That's what I'm going to do.
Got it.
Densely populated taste.
Yes. You know what? I want to hear a densely populated take. Burning hot. He's got his mouth closed. I think if he opens
what's
it
that,
up,
Chris?
you're just gonna you're gonna melt the mic.
I was here. I'm not melted. Chris, again, it's just flames. You can see the flames. They don't actually impact anything around.
But that's an actual fire. It's just okay.
It's an illusion.
Got it.
It's an illusion to you, Chris.
Okay, I understand. I mean, it
I don't know
looks
how,
like
we've,
you are
we've
in
had many
severe
nights
pain.
talking about this, and you just still can't seem to understand.
All right, you seem to be in severe pain. You do kind of look like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
at
this is
point.
totally separate. This is a whole different
Okay.
thing I'm dealing
Oh,
with.
Your
so you
lips are-
actually
You had to
are
call
on
it-
fire
The
as
fact
well.
you had to call it out on mic is
Yeah.
a little.
Oh,
It's
that's not.
It's
that's
disruptive
not,
to the podcast, frankly, and we can move on.
I all right.
You guys
I-
beefing?
No, not at all. Never. I didn't know that was
just takes
not
too hot
take
for you?
related. I didn't know that this skin issue he's dealing with I thought it was take related, and it's apparently
It's just
not.
eczema, dude. It's a light case of
bringing
eczema.
up
dude.
I don't
Skin
know.
conditions.
I don't know if that's eczema, dude. You might want to crack a book and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, you know.
If you live in between the dead and the undead, your skin's gonna get a little dry. I mean, it's winter. Come on, Chris, cut the guy some slack.
I mean, okay.
They're out of lotion at the store, you know.
Yeah.
Get some
Dealing with some hard
Eucerin
times
cream.
here.
You look like a mummy.
That's rude, dude.
Sorry.
You know, in our realm, that's like the lowest. You
No,
can hit
they're-
someone.
they can curse people.
Yeah, dude. They got-
we never had a
dude,
mummy on the show. That's people are talking about you. Saying you don't like mummies.
Well, that may be. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's not talk about the skin issues of our guests.
Podcasting 101.
Yeah. How about we all know that IPAs are still the backbone of the craft beer industry and will be in perpetuity forever. Woo. The ghosts of IPA still alive as well. But it's always changing. It's never staying the same. IPA is always, there's always something new for people to have, be it an innovative can that's taller than the old can or something else. What is that something else? What is the next big style of IPA that people are going to be crazy about other than San Diego style? Because it's already been said. Mike, doctor,
So this is different than San Diego
write me a
style,
prescription.
but it's breweries leaning in to the locality of their ingredients in their IPAs. So places like Midwest IPAs and New York IPAs
Yes.
and New England IPAs and Pacific Northwest, Oregon IPAs, actually using ingredients from those regions where you can,
Oh, okay.
which is also, you know,
It's a good thing.
Not necessarily a single style, but you know, we're several years into this. You know.
It's a good thing that you can't see into the past, because if you could, you would see this was, again, a prediction you have already made.
No, that one's different. That is
Oh.
specifically Midwest style IPAs like Two Hearted and Headhunter
Yes.
taking over the rest of the country. This is
Got it.
people specifically making IPAs for their region of the country with local ingredients.
Got it.
Very different, Chris. Offended that you
Agreed. No, it was the ignorance of some of these spirits that are nagging me. I've got a thing I'm trying to fight off.
But instead of chasing just the Citra Simcoe, Amarillo, whatever combination that everyone's chasing, getting more specific with the regionality.
The people in the Pacific Northwest lucked out
They
with
did.
their local ingredients.
as
which will
did
be
France or Italy
amazing.
and California for making wines.
Yes, exactly. Who would like to go next? What is the next big IPA style? Nostra Douglas, I know you must have something.
Mr. Douglas is struggling to see a truly new IPA style emerging. However, the emergence of the San Diego style is forming a bit of a committee with the classic West Coast IPA as well as the cold IPA and other IPAs gathering at a conference room, hashing out their differences, figuring out where they go from here. And Mr. Douglas is seeing the San Diego IPA shake hands with the classic West Coast IPA
Yes,
and
I see it too.
become one.
Ah,
That is now leaving the door open for what is a clear, not super bitter, very American or New Zealand, aromatic, juicy, but very drinkable IPA that is the modern West Coast IPA.
modern West Coast IPA. All those things are very hip and cool. I like it. I'm going back. I like looking into the past. I am, I'm the yang to your yin.
You're in all
Doctor.
times.
I'm constantly, some would say living in the past. I wouldn't, but many say that's
The
what
number
I
of
do.
takes of sub 3% malt-driven cask ales and English-style beers coming back says differently, Chris.
You're right. I was right about all those, wasn't I? Well, here's another one that I'm going to nail, and that is what I've nicknamed the Gen X IPA.
The XPA.
No,
The Gen
The
XPA.
Gen,
The Gen
X.
XPA.
That is
I'm tracking with this dude because I was going to
This
say
is
the exact same thing.
crystal malt, a malty IPA. That is still very much an IPA, but back to the days of what the Gen Xers were coming up with. They will be seen as cool again soon, probably right now.
It's your hottest take yet.
No,
Chris is
I'm
bagging
ice
you.
cold.
That'd be cool.
Chris is bagging you that Gen X is
Anyone
cool
touch
again.
my nose, you will see that I am literally in a winter coat and freezing right now. My takes are the only thing trying to warm me at this point. Gen X IPA, crystal malt or
Summit
something
hops.
similar. Yep, Summit hops.
100% Summit, crystal, 100% crystal malt.
Get,
That's a lot of crystal, but perhaps. Sure, yes.
could we?
Go extreme, Chris. Come on.
Could you ever see dropping the I and it being the Gen X PA?
Gen X PA.
So lower the alcohol, get it to 5.5%.
Love it.
Because a lot of Gen X are dad
The
strains
Gen
now.
XPA. Yes, I don't know. Perhaps. I see old classics like Alpha King being rediscovered and it kind of spawning into a new take. Hot, yes.
Obi. This is where I was gonna.
Yes.
This is what I was gonna hit on a little bit. But
Please call me Mr. Quinobi.
All right, Obi.
That's my dad. That's my father.
We're gonna
Yeah.
change the framing a little. Maybe not the framing, but just a little bit adjacent to that. I'm thinking it's time for a legit traditional IPA category, not pre-American, not English, whatever.
Right.
Traditional American as a category, using hops from, let's say,
The colonials used.
basically, let's say hops pre
That's
Citra
what I was
Mosaic,
saying, New York.
like actually drilling down on a time of American craft beer, like isolating that as a category, saying these are an IPA brewed with hops pre 2000s or pre second boom or most recent boom with like Citra Mosaic, all that stuff.
You guys are saying
I'm not sure what you would call that.
American IPA. Great.
Yeah, but you have American IPAs
Again?
now that aren't necessarily constraining themselves to like old school hops. They're still, it's the framework is like, okay, clear and bitter and dry, maybe malty, but they might be using, more of the new school, more, I don't know if exciting is the right word,
Hop
but more,
products.
more tropical, citrus forward,
Trendy.
maybe like actually isolating, like
Trendy.
in terms of a profile, like maybe the styles of IPA
Marketed.
can be more lit. Yeah, Chris, you are truly Gen X, aren't you? Using lit in 2025? Come on, dude.
Lit's a great band.
That's a good band. It's a good band. It's a good band. Actually, Chris, if you'd like to go sometime, I'd love to take you.
Okay, I hear their fire.
They're on fleek, Chris.
Yeah. Well, with all that being said, I believe I think we should take a break, refilleth our cups, and make sure that the recording track doesn't crap out since we are not recording in our normal way. So
spooky.
we'll
One
be-
prediction's already right. I'm already seeing a Midwest Pale Ale on the menu, so
Oh, interesting.
If you build it.
it's been manifested.
All right, we will be back with more takes. Hot, cold, and lukewarm. My favorite type of take, personally.
Can't burn
So long.
And welcome back to the future.
I feel calmer now,
Yeah.
now that we're out of that spooky laboratory.
Any specific areas that you want us to work the knots out
We're
of?
doing the monster mash. Yeah, I'm feeling. I'm feeling some knots in my ephemeral being. Can you work those out?
Absolutely. That's what we specialize in here.
Oh, thank you.
We work them out through seeing the future.
So I've heard this is pseudo medicine. That doesn't mean that you're a pseudo doctor, does it? Is this your
I mean, I've
practice?
been sued. Oh.
Yeah, got it. I know doctors like that.
That's-
But your practice is really nice. This place doesn't look like a scam at all.
Yeah,
No.
I'm curious how you
The-
get new patients, seeing as you've been sued a lot.
They make a lot of money off of it.
They make a lot of money off of suing you.
Yeah.
Oh, you get a kickback.
No, they make a lot of
Oh.
money. My
How do
insurance
you
is crazy.
Got it.
My psychic medical insurance is nuts, dude.
Why is there a reason you don't see these lawsuits coming? No.
Listen, if people want to come here and get honorary medicine degree doctor work, that's on them, is what I say.
Right.
And
the courts,
fool me once.
the future courts just
Do
don't
not
tend-
agree.
They don't agree.
I've defended myself every time because I also have honorary JDs.
Oh.
Sit-
Another
sit-
type of doctor.
Mhm. That's right, a Juris Doctorate.
This sounds
Yeah.
like a passion project of yours. You know, you're just out here getting sued left and right, losing. Who's funding this?
I'm the only non-for-profit doctor. I get grants.
from the government. From which government?
Mostly NGOs.
Okay. It's becoming more clear.
NEOs, non-earthly organizations.
That's right. NGNEOs.
Got it. Non-government,
Like the
non-earthly.
Chapel Roan song.
Got it.
NGNEOGO.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
I
got
didn't know that's
She
what.
got that from me.
Okay. Are you gonna sue her?
She sued me, actually.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah, she sued
I guess she
me.
beat you to it.
Yeah, that was rough.
Well, I hope that works out.
And she blew up. So she used that money to record that album. So
So anyway,
real patron of the arts.
where are we at now? We're looking into the future. I'm feeling very relaxed. My chakras are like completely aligned,
You're welcome.
totally parallel to one another.
We are looking.
And I've never seen Jake's third eye look more beautiful than it does right now, I'll just say.
Jay, what's that? What are those flames?
Those are, yeah.
Again, they're just illusions.
Do you want me to look at those for you?
Look,
He looks like Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs. The skin is dripping off of him now.
again, a separate problem that we're having looked at.
We said we weren't gonna
The
talk
doctors
about
are actually.
I do have an
they're-
honorary
they're-
dermatological degree.
Yeah, and I'm in the midst of suing you for the work related to that.
That's right. You'll probably get some
And I
nice
will
money
win.
out of that. Yeah. Everyone seems to.
Anyway, it's the last time I mention it.
Okay. I don't
Mr.
believe
Douglas,
you.
I think, is getting ready to leave again. So, what is the next prediction that we're going to allow people to know the answers to? Not even predictions, but
This
facts,
is
future facts.
the big picture.
Got
The
it.
overall scene. The future scene.
Got it.
Trends in large.
Got it.
Not specific to any beer style, though I may have accidentally given mine for a previous beer style.
Got
So
it.
now I'm coming up with one that I already saw. Someone
Local-
else. So someone
local.
else go.
I'm looking into my crystal ball, and it's stormy. It's problematic. It doesn't look calm like this lovely waiting area that we're sitting in, by the way. I see some troubles on the horizon for craft producers and their distribution partners. I see there's going to be more of them are going to get dropped. I'm going to see more consolidation. I'm going to see more distributors shutting their doors, sadly, in
The winds have whipped up
2025.
with your take.
Yes, and it will be difficult for some of these smaller and mid-sized craft breweries to get distribution outside of their immediate home areas, to the detriment of the drinking public, sadly. And who knows when, if ever, they will see the light of day again for meaningful distribution as wide as they used to get it. Now there are plus sides to that for the craft drinking hobbyist. It's always fun to go to a different area and be able to have beers that you can only get there, unlike San Diego style IPAs, which you'll be able to get everywhere very soon, probably now. So that's what I see. I'm sad to say, I don't want to just predict only the good stuff. I see it all. I see the good, I see the bad, I see the ugly. I'm not looking at Jake when I say that, by the way. I'm not looking at
His
him.
skin just does that, dude. You can't.
I know it has nothing to
What's
do
up?
with the flame.
What's up, you
Nothing.
guys?
Nope. Nothing.
I'm
We're
on a
talking
call
about
with
something
my lawyer.
Top
going
dog?
over
Gary?
going over Top Dog. We're going over the notes here that Dr. Strange sent over, and we're redlining a lot here.
That's right.
We'll be getting back to him shortly.
I did a bad
Wow.
job.
Off air though.
If the Top Dog's coming after you.
I'm nothing if not professional here. I will.
The guy with the billboards?
Yes.
Yeah, on the buses.
Have you not heard the commercials? He's awesome.
Not
He's
again.
awesome.
I'm in trouble.
Now I have one quick. This is a side note, and it's something odd that I wouldn't know since I do know everything. Is since Top Dog never has his phone number on his ads, how do you get in touch with him? It
He
just
gets in
says
touch with
Top
you.
Dog.
He gets in touch with you.
Got it.
He's one of us.
Okay, you just wake up after you're in a terrible accident with a bus,
He calls
and
you.
he's just there.
And he knows.
Calls you.
Got
You
it.
don't call him.
Got
He
it.
probably was driving the bus.
True. Okay. What is another big
If he
trend?
hears this, that was a joke.
Mr. Douglas.
Mr. Douglas would like to build on that theme, especially beginning with the struggle for distribution. But craft breweries have been known to have quite a bit of fight in them, and that's not just going to be the end of it, as Obi Chris may be implying, because this pullback from distribution, which is only moderately profitable for many, is going to force a kind of retrenching in the tap room, and some new creative strategies, better than what has been done in the past. Things that weren't too uncommon in the early days of craft beer, but a refocused attempt at loyalty that Mr. Douglas is calling in the club.
Ah.
As in, we're very familiar with breweries with barrel age programs doing clubs. These clubs are not going to be for the expensive high end stuff. These are going to be clubs for the everyday things, the things that get you in and make you a regular at a place and feel special, the special access, the occasional special opportunity, but a reason to come in often and be rewarded for doing so. So the brewery clubs are going to get a fresh coat of paint with some new creativity toward what people want and what would motivate them to become loyal now, which
Get
might be
into
different.
club.
Might be different. Club.
The mug club.
Club. Maybe you get a 50-cent discount for being into Club. Just guessing. Interesting.
I like that.
Lots of
Yeah.
clubs.
Into Club.
Non-barrel aged.
A lot of
clubs.
Clubs. Got it. Jake, your eye looks beautiful. I mean,
thank
this
you.
music. You must
Thank
be
you.
very relaxed.
Thank you.
See a
I do
beam
have
of light.
contacts on. If they were out,
Oh.
it would look awful.
Wait,
And
you were?
you'd surely talk about it on this podcast.
So you need
Call it
corrective
out.
lenses for your third eye?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I am eternal, and you could guess that I have horrible glaucoma or cataracts.
Are you wearing the contacts? 'Cause you
cataracts both?
And
It's all a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
yeah.
Are you wearing the contacts in your third eye because
Yeah.
your third eye glasses fell out of your pocket on a plane?
No,
They wanted you to
no,
go
this
back
is
on the
separate.
plane?
They don't.
No, that was me.
Look, even in the future, they don't make 3-eye glasses yet. So I'm stuck with pair of normal glasses and contacts. Thank you very much.
Contact.
Contact. Well, I
Can
have
I
many
get a hit?
contacts. I have many contacts. The next big trend. You heard it here first, folks.
Alt beer.
We're gonna
It's
go.
the alt beer
And
club.
last.
We're gonna go with San Diego IPA.
San Diego all style alt beer.
I think this is gonna be
trend in beer.
San Diego alt beer.
The pale alt beer.
Pale alt beer. It's extremely hoppy. It's not old. It's actually fresh.
It's an ale treated like a lager.
Yes.
And from
All right, so you
Dusseldorf.
talk about lagers. Here is a trend that I don't think will necessarily hit fever pitch this year, but I do think we're on a trend cycle that will lead us out of lager being the sort of like cool, hip indicator. I think we've seen in the past that in maybe the last 15 years, there were these kind of waves of like if you brewed these certain styles that kind of was a signifier that you were in the know or you were cool or what have you. I
Like
think
alt.
American Wild Ale, I think, was like kind of one.
Yes.
I think the early adopters, the hazy IPA, they got a lot of clout doing that. I think lager, to an extent, has followed that.
Yeah.
I think the next category or kind of broad gesture that will kind of get that clout would be English style specifically, like the English style only brewery.
What's a real Obi Chris Wan take? We like those. Look at
All
that.
these takes are imbued with a little bit of my own desires and,
Of
and,
course.
what I want to see. But I do. I think
if you will it,
I don't think lager is the final boss of beer. I think tastes always change, trends change. And I think what we haven't, kind of like alt beer, we haven't really gotten deep into the English style where people are really kind of talking about, oh, they do these styles, like, you know, the equivalent of like decoction mashing for English. We haven't really gone down that.
What is the equivalent? of
Exactly. I mean, that's a good
decoction
question.
mashing
What
for
is
English?
that? What does that look
party guiling.
Is it? Can we do that? Are we set up to do that?
Or I guess infusion mashing, single like step infusion
Getting square,
mashing.
open top squares.
That'd be cool. You could do maybe different yeasts. I mean, top cropping would be very difficult to do.
I feel like cask
We do
only
that.
could be something, but that is so hard to maintain. You have to be really small for that to even work.
Oh my gosh.
You have to be doing
Good
a lot
luck.
of volume. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Now let me ask another question. Oh wait, well, it relates to this and lagers losing, maybe not being the final boss. What about this retro, like dad lager? Like, is that a trend that we see being around for a while still? I saw that Three Floyds just put one out. Very kind of on the nose retro branding.
That's been going on for years, though. I think that's which is kind of
Sure, I'm
Which is
saying is
interesting
that
about-
going to keep going, or are we looking at an end of that?
I think that's something that when you get to a certain size, that's maybe more viable. I don't know. I think
Like how many derivative
Economies of
Olympia
scale
and
make
Schlitz
that.
cans are there still to be done? Is what I want to know. And
My-
Stag and
my thought
Rainier.
My thought is that this is the peak. This is the final year of editions coming in. Basically, if you didn't make one by 2025, you probably weren't going to play in this field. So the last ones to get in are getting in now-ish. And so in terms of new ones, we're at the peak of new brands. Then those are going to get more money and effort put into growing them. So that it's not that it'll still grow because in the craft world it's still pretty small.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room to go. It's not big, so
Right.
it's easy to grow because it's small. But I think this is like the final year of like who's of a decent size if they didn't make one by this coming year.
Got
Then
it.
That's not something they're going to focus on, I think. So-
Got it. How about another one I've got for you? Another hot take. Do you think there's another Mexican beer that's going to see a little pop? Because it looks like it kind of went from obviously Corona, now Modelo, but Tecate has seen huge growth.
Do you
And
like
now
from
I think
Mexico?
younger, well, it
So
doesn't
like
need to be.
international provenance, you're saying?
So
Very
then
astute.
Pacifico, I think a lot of the younger kids or They don't want to be like those other people drinking the Modelo's. They want to be different.
Maybe
and drink
Land
something
Shark will
maybe
come back.
from the same brewery that they don't know is from the same brewery, and have Pacifico. Is there going to be another one that's going to
Maybe Sol
pop
is
onto the
finally
scene?
going to have
Sol?
its day.
Or Cruz Blanca?
Or we go to like San Miguel, like that similar
Right.
style beer, but from a country that we aren't hitting with disproportionately prohibitive tariffs.
Probably will hit them too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think,
Or do we
well,
see a brand
that's
like-
interesting. And now that, you, Doug, you're talking about the international kind of travel and that tying into people's maybe renewed interest, or maybe they're discovering things for the first time outside of the American craft beer kind of space right now. And I mentioned Guinness earlier. I wonder how much Guinness is sort of a similar. How people are coming to Guinness? Is that part of that equation that you're talking about? And so maybe it's not another Mexican beer that gets really popular. Maybe it is another international beer that has been kind of around, that kind of does its thing, but all of a sudden, like, American tastes really want to go for it. I mean, they're talking, again, to go to
Heineken's
Guinness.
coming back.
I mean,
Red Stripe.
Well, like Pilsner Urquell is sitting there to have a moment of, not that it hasn't always been
Sure.
on all store shelves, but to like how Guinness splitting the G is all of a sudden like the thing to do.
thing.
I'm doing it and having a blast doing it.
It's
But
great.
Could Pilsner Urquell become like?
But that's not an old thing. That's just a.
Hey, look,
I think that's a marketing. Splitting the G.
to
Here's
give us credit here, I was
truth.
looking at some
I've seen it
older
from the future.
2022 and 2023 episodes that we did. We mentioned Guinness both times,
Yes.
talking about perfect beer, one of the best beers of all time.
Yeah.
And it is here now getting its due. I think, due today. I mean, it's always been a beer that's around, but I think
There's
it's
that
really
mutton guy.
it's
Yep.
really interesting to see it blow up. And I'm really excited because, I mean, it is a great beer. It's been fun to have that.
One of the greats.
Yeah. It's cool to see the
I think splitting
younger
the G
people getting into it.
is a very clever way to get you to drink way more beer
in one
the
gulp.
first sip than you typically would.
They're
And here's the other
geniuses.
thing. Will Guinness start to move
The
the
G
printing
down.
down a little further to get you to drink
So
more?
it's just the bottom of the glass.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, splitting the G I've never heard of until the past, 2 years, perhaps. Okay. Has everyone gone and said what the next big trend in beer is?
I have not, but I didn't. I used mine for the last one by accident. So
Okay.
I think more breweries doing storytelling
it.
about using local ingredients and creating locally made things being actually sourced locally.
Good thing you can't see the past. You'd be embarrassed. All right. The next, what we're going to go.
Assuming a lot.
Not everything is going to be the next big thing. This is the cycle of life. It's the circle of life. There's a movie about that. I won't get into it right now, but yes, exactly. Things live and things die. Some things have to die so that others can live. Alt can't be the next big thing unless something else dies. So,
Doppelsticker
yeah.
has to die.
Well, that is a type of
Right,
alt,
not
so
bad.
I don't know. Maybe. What
Dunkel.
what trend are we going to see start to wane, become moribund, if you will, disappear, die, anything on that continuum? It's over the hill. Its time is nigh.
I think mine came from us talking or us texting. And because
Well, you mean the earthly bodies that we are
yes,
embodying right now?
our meat skins were texting on their cellular phones instead of telepathy like we do. And
I just
we were
said
sharing-
you're right, telepathically.
I
and
know,
then I said it
I
out
heard
loud.
it. Yeah, I heard.
Sorry.
I think the Milko pour is, as you said, over. Once
over,
it's in
man.
the New York Times, it will have a quick up and a quick down. And
Yeah.
by the end of 2025,
It's over, man.
no more Milkos.
As the Portlandias.
I was gonna say Czech lager in general will be on the way, and I think that was not to say it's great, has a place. I don't think it's going to continue at that pace that it's been. I think that was a moment. That was the lagers that people were exploring. I think people are going to move on, or maybe not. They're going to kind of pick their one. As a brewery goes, they might pick, okay, we have the Czech Pilsner. We don't need to have 6 Czech interpretations of lager on at the same time. I think that's going to subside a little bit in favor of other explorations of other regional styles. I think we talked about Japanese in the past. That's alive and well. That's been happening.
It's alive and well, huh?
I think so. I mean, it's at least like in the
Zeitgeist.
It's in the ether, right? People are thinking about it. It's Czech is one.
People.
It was a
Just people I don't know. I
Czech.
guess.
Czech style was a stop
Jake.
along the way. It was a.
I do know Jake.
You do.
I know you. I see you.
But hey, look, last year also prediction, presentation, and service, and here we are. We got Lico pours in the New York Times. So
There you go.
I think
What about
I think
dark
presentation
beers?
continues to.
Chocolate Mliko pours.
Oh, that happens too. That's already a thing.
With Hershey syrup?
Oh, you mean actually? Okay. Well, I prefer Nesquik. Well, let's get started there.
Chocolate milk.
That's the coldest take you
Chocolate
ever.
milk.
No, dude.
Pours.
The powder
Nesquik.
Nesquik actually goes hard.
The strawberry or the chocolate?
No, the Nesquik chocolate.
That's a wild.
no,
take.
dude. The powder goes hard, dude.
What about strawberry Mliko pours?
You should make that happen.
I think I probably should. Maybe we can do Mliko of Guza. There's probably a strawberry Guz.
Wow.
Or a raspberry Mliko.
Sure. But you have
Consider
to
it.
put the Nesquik in it.
Consider it done.
You should do a Maliko pour of. No, okay.
We will never have Swansea again. Once it is once they notice we're doing it and
Milk-
making fun of their beer.
milk tubes of Zwans next year or bust, dude.
Exactly.
Give it right back to Roper.
Who would like to go? Who would like to go next? Okay, I'll go next. You know what's dead? You know what's over? And I mean,
Say it, Chris.
the nail is in the coffin.
The milkshake.
Fun-
The cold IPA.
The pastry stout.
Yeah.
Pastry stouts are over.
That was mine from last year.
That's a cold take, brother. That's a cold
No,
take.
I think they're dead. Yeah. Hey, goodbye. Hey, we were both right. We all just see it at different stages in the future.
That's right.
Yes.
But I think
Yes.
they are.
And what do you think that's an indication of?
Over.
What do you think that says about the people who are drinking? What do you think that portends?
Well,
Yes.
what are those people
Let's
drinking
tease this.
now?
I want to tease
Wait,
this out a little
Can
bit.
I ask the same question a different way, and it's hopefully the same answer? What are the people that were drinking these pastry stouts? What are they drinking now?
I don't think they're drinking beer.
But that's
I
fine.
think they're
but
probably drinking RTD cocktails or something that
Really?
is sweeter. Like all of us being like things are moving towards classic styles and dry, but things with that still have caramel malt. Like that's not what those people want to drink.
I think
So
they're
if beer stops giving it to
desperately trying to move
Like hard
They're-
sodas.
their bourbon cellars as fast as they possibly can.
They're bourbon.
But,
Like they're
Yeah, they're sweating because they have so much money tied up in bourbon, and they have to try to sell some of this for cash.
And they told their wife it's an investment,
right,
and now their kids can't go to
and that
college.
Yamazaki 12 is worth 224 on the shelf.
Totally, dude.
So, I guess I'm just trying to think. Pastry stout drinker is getting said pastry stouts at a brewery, at a bottle shop, or a Benny's. They're not getting them at the grocery store generally. There's not much pastry stouts there. So I'm just thinking of those places. So that fan, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to wrap my head
Yeah.
around this. It's just weird to think that the person drinking these high end, these are expensive,
Right.
these big thick stouts that are cost $20 a 4-pack, are now drinking like Cutwater. Is that what you, like stuff like that? Like,
I don't know. I'm
It's
not.
just,
I just don't think they're.
it just seems very crafty
Well-
in the one part of craft.
What else is like
I
that
don't
though?
know.
See, I don't think
know.
they're
That's why I'm
changing.
so curious.
You're-
I
And
don't
were they
know.
actually these people driven by the way that these things tasted, or what they meant in
think
like a larger way, or their ability to trade them for things?
Yeah.
Like I think all there's maybe 3 different consumers of that
The palate
that are
evolved.
doing different things.
Palates
Maybe
evolved.
what about Voodoo Rangers and stuff like that?
maybe.
Juice Force.
Right.
Oh, I like.
which is just
see that.
neo bum one.
Look, I mean, no one can sit here and say their palate hasn't evolved. That wasn't a time that they liked a style of beer that they moved on from. Right? There's ebbs and flows. I think there's a process that if you are drinking beer long enough and you're exploring craft beer, there's a evolution of the palate. You can say it does good or bad. There's a change of what you want to drink. I think there's just a pretty limited shelf life in pastry stouts in terms of long-term drinking. I think if you're into beer, you might move on to the next thing. You just kind of got tired of it. I think it's like a pretty, it's a less complex drink. It's also not, maybe that's not true, but it's less drinkable, right? And I think like what beer comes down to, I think most people, if you drink beer long enough, you're going to stick around, and your staples are not just going to be pastry stouts. That might have been your entry point, or a point you got really pumped about. But over time, you change.
Could they be drinking 3 lagers now instead of?
Yeah,
that?
I think it's
I
very
hope
possible.
so,
Well-
but I also think that there's a non-insignificant amount or percentage of people that their favorite beers were beers that tasted nothing like traditional beer tasted, that just don't drink beer anymore. Like the less that, like the further that producers move away from candy
Sure, but
flavored
there's always going to
things.
be curious people in craft beer. That's the whole driving force of it. I think. I mean,
Sure.
the first beers I got into, like Young's Double Chocolate Stout, that's like the OG pastry stout. That beer ruled at the time, but then there's a point where my palate didn't love it, and it's not necessarily an age thing. It just might be where you get used to something and you want to switch it up. I think it's just kind of, if you stick with something long enough, you're going to change what you want. And I'm not sure necessarily like, well, all of a sudden, like I don't like, okay, I'm drinking Young's Double Chocolate Stout, and instead of like exploring beer further, I'm just going to jump to a whole other category that's a similar flavor.
But I think there's
don't think that's really
a significant categorical difference between people who drink and appreciate Young's Chocolate Stout and people who found the highest form of craft beer to be Snickers flavored stout with actual Snickers in
So
it.
you think that you don't think it's realistic for someone to say, yeah, last year I was way into Snickerdoodle pastry stouts, but now I like English style beers and alts.
That
I-
specific example seems unlikely,
Likely.
but
Oh.
I'm not saying that it's
Unlikely.
not possible and not what a lot of the people that were drinking those are doing. I'm just saying it's more likely that the people that coveted those beers did not transition their
Here's where
palates
I-
into more traditional beer
I
flavored
think if they're going
beers.
into beer, I think I could see it going in a couple ways. The easy one would be non-barrel aged. I mean, non-adjuncted barrels, and maybe they have special barrel treatments that they get that kind of geekiness out of. I could see them maybe going to barrel aged barley wines as well. If they're going to really, if I was going to do, let me look far into an alternate universe. Let me look into the multiverse. Maybe they can get some of those big flavors from stuff like big quads and triples or something like that as well. So
Yeah, but the person we don't have to belabor this point.
No.
Let's move on.
yeah, I agree. Has everyone gone?
I have not.
Okay, what do you see, Nostra Douglas?
Mine hurts because I helped create one of these and still am championing one. But this one I think is going to take about, judge me in 2 years on this one, not 1 year. But
I was talking to you. You're the judge here.
yeah.
I only see the
So-
future.
Oh no, you're the JD. You're not a judge. I'm
I
sorry.
think in 2
One
years,
day, hopefully, honorary judge.
I think within 2 years, because these are still coming out rapid fire, we're going to see the fact that hop waters just aren't going to work. Functionless hop waters, especially with the rise of THC beverages.
Yes.
I think hop waters were an interesting. I like them as an alternative to a non-alcoholic IPA. No calories. I think they
Right.
taste better depending on how it's
Agreed.
done. But the price to value to consumers, I just don't think it's working enough yet, and I'm not sure how hard the industry is going to push to try to close that gap, that education gap, get it to sink in. So I could see within 2 years these being abandoned as a priority. They're still nice to have around the tap room. There's still a use case for them for sure, but in terms of being anything, you'll be reading headlines on, that's what I'm saying, is gonna die somewhere between the beginning of next year and the end of it.
I think I very unscientifically observed that when people want to have a non-alcoholic beverage, it doesn't mean they want to have something that is completely devoid of something that may adulterate or enhance their state. So like even CBD, which has a very minimal effect, people think that that's more valuable than just water.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I have to say, music, the vibes here are excellent. So bravo to you, Dr. Strange, Mike.
Thank you. That's why people keep coming
And
back.
is that like aromatherapy? Is this eucalyptus? It's lovely, whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah.
Moving on.
Got some real pure moods energy.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a very calming environment before you have to sue
It's
me.
giving Enya. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
right. She also sued me.
Oh.
For what? For what? What'd you-
Using
I did,
her music in your waiting
for
room?
using her music in this very podcast we're listening to?
That, but also I did chiropractic on her cat, one of her many cats,
Oh.
and I botched it.
Botch job. Mm-hmm. Frank Reynolds.
It's only an honorary doctorate. People keep showing up. So what are we going to do?
Not do it. Not take their money.
I'm not going to take their money to then give them their money back in like
Right.
tenfold.
Right. It's true.
It's bad business.
Agreed. So we've talked about trends that are dying. What trends will continue or maybe even accelerate? Which trends that we thought maybe couldn't get any bigger are just getting started? What could those be? Let me guess, Mike. I'll do yours for you. I'm predicting it. It's going to be local ingredients made by breweries.
No, definitely not.
Who would like to go first this time?
I could kick this one off.
Please, Mr. Douglas.
I'm going to kind of combine two things into one because they kind of go together. And that's big ABV is not going anywhere. The 8, 9, 10% are still selling, growing like crazy. What we thought might have been a fad is at least a trend. Nobody totally understands who is buying these and how to describe them. It is not the prototypical craft beer fan that went on the journey over the last decade with many of us, decade plus actually. But these are often going to be the ones that, using Voodoo Ranger Juice Force specifically as the model, all the hop companies,
One of the greats.
all the hop companies are coming out with these alternative products that are terpenes, botanicals. They're these very potent drops that you add to IPAs, and they help cut down the costs of using pounds and pounds per barrel to get, these juicy flavors that allow you to make a high grav beer and have it be a more reasonable price because they help make the recipe more affordable. It makes
Better
the beers
yields.
very sweet, gives them I call them like a candy-like taste. And they are not for what I consider the traditional lovers of IPA, but they are this offshoot of IPA that a lot of newer people to the category that like engage in craft beer a different way are loving and buying a whole lot of. And so I think a lot of the big breweries, almost all of them, call it the top 50 to 100 in size, are gonna it's becoming too big to ignore.
I can see that. I can also see that. Very wise of you to predict that, Mr. Douglas. I think that we're going to continue to see hoppy pilsners with Northwest hops, the West Coast pills, if you will, aka the best pale ale in the country. But I think, those West Coast pills and those style of pilsners will continue to see more love in 2025. That's all. Very short and sweet for me.
I think there's
Can I have a sidebar with you?
yeah.
For real, have you seen Jake's face?
Yeah, I've seen. We're all seeing it, but most of us just don't think it's like nice to
Rude.
talk about it.
Okay.
So he seems fine with it. It's not bothering him. Just let him live his life. Like it's not affecting you.
He's
Like-
Top dog?
he's
Top dog.
redefining.
Is that you, Top Dog?
I did.
Yeah,
Listen,
these guys are
and if
talking
he
about
says
it
I
on
did
air.
that,
It's
I
very-
didn't do that. It wasn't because of anything
you gotta
I
figure
did in my clinic.
All right.
So
Yeah,
here's the thing I will say. He's not taking. I could see taking a call. He literally made a call
Yeah,
while
dude.
on the show. He took out his phone and made the call.
Top Dog's here.
You
for
want me on the
day
podcast?
and
This is
night.
what you get. Okay.
Now he's rude.
I'm rude. I'm rude.
Now he's
You're
rude.
here. You're picking apart my just horrific body. Here, my skin just peeling off.
Wait, you heard that?
That's not related to the flames
This
that
is
I've
really-
sidebar.
engulfed
This
in.
is really
Okay.
a dig on. Like
it's
meat
also
Jake,
it's
not
challenging.
the third eye take.
It's challenging because I am just a spirit in this body,
Jake.
and then every time I dispossess Jake, he's calling me up saying, "Dude, I got blisters, I got just boils all over me, dude. Like you gotta chill with the takes."
Right.
And I say, "No, dude.
Have you ever
I'm
seen
here.
RoboCop?
I'm here to do the podcast."
You look like the guy who was dropped into the.
Kill me.
Yeah, that's what you.
Yeah,
You
that
look.
guy?
You look like him right
Yeah,
now.
dude. That's the greatest compliment you could ever give somebody, to be honest.
Okay.
To be to even be compared to one of
That
Paul
specimen?
Verhoeven's masterpieces. It's just lovely.
Redefining what that drip means.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. The
All
fashion,
about
the
that
fashion homies know I got drip. I'm literally
He's throwing
dripping.
fits,
I'm
he's
literally
dripping all over the place.
Yes. I'm
All
literally
right.
dripping.
Okay, so I'm glad we had that sidebar. Apparently, Serge
You're
didn't
gonna get me so sued.
didn't mute the headphones, which I wish he had. Okay, any other trends that will continue to pick
Yes.
up
Well, you
steam?
I think you interrupted Mike's. Did you not?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be a even further bifurcation between off and on premise trends, where like Doug is saying that these 9, 10 plus beers are growing. I think that they are probably growing most at C-stores and grocery stores and places like that, where craft beer means something different to those consumers than it does to people who show up at tap rooms or to craft beer bars or want to have pints of things. And so craft beer will bifurcate what it means depending on where you're getting it even further than it already has.
Got it. Agreed.
It's
Like
apt.
it.
Very apt. I agree. Wow. I think
Unanimous.
I wanted to add here, my take is I think we're going to see some further stabilization. And I think that, unfortunately, in reality, that comes down to breweries closing. But I think that leads to a stabilization of the industry. And with that, you're going to have a consolidation of SKUs of available things on the shelf at the liquor stores, especially as beer loses shelf space to emerging categories like THC, et cetera. I think breweries are going to have to make really tough decisions about what they want to lead with, but they're going to have to make that decision. And it's going to mean for drinkers a little bit more focus on a smaller range of beers, and hopefully with that, more consistency and better overall kind of a rising of tide, so to speak. I guess I don't know. Better overall quality across the board.
Got it. What do we have next? Well, a lot of people like to say they make beer for a living, but we all know that we're in the selling beer business, right? This is the brewing business, and when we're looking into the future, it's nice to talk about styles and stuff like that, but how is the business itself? What is going to be new? What's going to be the hip, cool new thing? The skibbity riz, if you will.
Damn, that's good.
of brewing.
I think it's to be co-branding with Skibbity Toilet.
Got it.
Yo, for real? Okay, I got a little sidebar here. Another sidebar. I was at Target shopping for toys for my 2-year-old son, and in the toys aisle, there was a Skibbity toilet at Target. This is...
What did it do?
I don't know what it did.
Rizzed out, man. What do you mean?
Like, what is happening with the world?
Is this
It's,
mewing?
I felt old in that moment, I got to say.
It gets better. Don't worry.
You feel more and more connected to the
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
I
The
think
new business. Yeah. What new business trends, business models, specifically, are we going to see?
more collaborations and branding from people like Mr. Beast and Logan
Skibbity
Paul,
For
Skibbity
real.
Toilet,
Got
other
it.
makeup tutorial channels.
Can't
So the
wait.
kids are at.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
What's
That's
the Mr.
cool.
Beast beer? And who is the prime brewery to collaborate? Like, if you were...
Prime.
If Mr. Beast
Logan
people
Paul.
were like, hey, we need to collaborate with the brewery, what brewery should they target?
What brew would Mr. Beast target?
Like, from a synergy perspective, like, hey, this is the brewery that most aligns with Mr. Beast. Who is that?
New Belgium.
That was,
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe New Belgium.
Mr. Beast Force.
Mr. Beast. Okay. We're doing live
know
consulting
if
for
he
New
would do
Belgium
it.
here.
Voodoo Beast
Honestly.
Force.
Right. Beast
He's-
Force 1.
Yeah, no. Honestly,
yeah.
it's probably like Miller,
It would-
Miller Coors or ABI.
It would be a
like,
19.2, though, right? That feels right? Does that feel right? A 19.2 can?
Who knows?
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Beast?
only 19.2.
I'm trying to... I don't really know him that well. I just know
Actually,
he's
it's
everywhere.
probably one of those like hard sodas if those are still around.
Like a
that-
Bang Energy or something, but like alcoholic.
Man, alcoholic Bang Energy with Mr.
mean, that's just
Beast.
for Logo,
That's
I
Logan.
guess.
That's more Logan Paul's lane. I feel like.
Four Logans.
Prebiotic.
Is it pretty bang on?
Prebiotic.
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 No, protein.
I'd say.
Protein is the move right now.
Everything is prebiotic until you
Protein.
consume it.
Protein
Everything has
is
to
the
have
wave right now.
protein.
Protein's the wave.
Yeah, man.
Trending business model. I got one for you. I think more customer-facing alt prop scenarios. So breweries coming into this to one space, but advertising that they're both brewing beer out of there. I think one example that we just saw is Ravinia, Steep Ravine, formerly Ravinia, co-branding their space with Moore's Brewing, giving them a space to kind of interact with the public. I think we're going to see more of that as it becomes just tougher and tougher to run your own brewery, or keep tanks, keeping the tanks full is ultimately the name of the game when you're a production brewery or have a production space. So I think people are going to get more creative with spaces and extra capacity. And, I think in the past you saw extra capacity go to breweries kind of behind the scenes, but you're going to have actual brands come into these spaces and cooperate together.
That's
You won't believe it, but I had the exact same prediction for my trending business model as well. Well done, Third Eye. You probably saw that. You're probably. I feel like you're looking into my soul right now.
I told you that take last night.
But you were too distracted by
You didn't tell me
my,
verbally.
my
Tom,
boils.
His skin
my-
is sloughing off his face.
My,
Well, it was much better then.
mine was not the same, but it builds on it quite perfectly with the example given, because mine was as breweries reevaluate their space and stop leaning on reclaimed wood and Edison bulbs and figure out what they want. I think we're going to see a lot of brewery tap rooms turn themselves into sports bars. And we're going to see the TVs come in, and they're going to be showing the games and making it a better situation to watch a game. I'm not saying this is better for the romanticism of craft beer, but I think when they're thinking about what gets people to come out, what do people want to go out and do, they want to watch the plethora of games that are always on.
Yards in
Oh my
Philadelphia.
gosh, I went there in September.
Yes,
and,
you were telling me about it.
That is,
Well,
that
not
is a
you,
sports
but
bar.
Doug.
That is a sports
Doug
bar.
was.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like outside of Chicago, that's much more of a model for what a craft brewery
Yeah.
is.
Yes, the
For sure,
sports- sports bar.
I think who would be even that space in Chicago, even maybe not that doesn't exist anymore. I'm trying to think who would be. What brewery would you go to
50-50
for
or
a sports?
Fat Pour, like like that.
I'm
Like
saying,
that,
but a
that-
brewery though, like specifically
Oh.
a brewery, like maybe Rock Bottom, would that have been the place? Like that might have been.
I don't know.
But yeah, to
Maybe
your
a
point,
city
I've been to
opening
Yards a
new-
couple
new
times.
tap
It
room.
is a
Maybe.
different vibe for sure. What's that? Sorry,
Haymarket has some
Haymarket.
TVs.
Oh, Haymarket, sure. But yeah, it's not a part of the culture in Chicago anyway. It's kind of interesting, but I do like that. I think sports is becoming more and more part of people's like social lives.
Well,
I
it
think
gets people out of
Yeah.
their house.
it's like the one thing you can get. It's like a communal thing that you can get people out for. I think sports is definitely having. I mean, I think betting is probably part of that
Sports is having
too.
a
but-
moment.
People stay for 3+ hours
Yeah.
when they come, so you get nice tabs compared to the average, I'd
Yeah.
say, when people are watching a game.
I think we're past the like millennial sort of like writing off of, like pretentious like sports ball kind of person. I think that's sort of done. I think people are like, I think being into sports was like maybe kind of seen as corny or whatever. And like craft beer was seen as a cool thing, so they kind of kept that separate, especially as it emerged. So, but I think that attitude is weighing in terms of people like being weird about sports. I think people are embracing sports in a way that they just more so now. So I think that tracks for me. That craft breweries would try to get in on that.
Interesting. We have a few more. How about what are the formats and/or anything to do with serving predictions that we have for the future, the near future, the far future? I think we're going to be able to do non-gravitational in the far future, but
Anti-gravitational.
Anti-gravitational.
Where are we at? Okay, bringing it back to Guinness. Where are we at on Nitro? Do we think Guinness opens that door, or I think personally, anytime Hopewell has tried to do Nitro, which has been pretty rare, there's like an excitement from the accounts, but it's like, well, the lines have the Guinness. I don't have another Nitro line.
Yeah, I think the popularity of Guinness further pushes anything else on Nitro away.
No one's going to add a Nitro line because
No.
of the resurgence of
I think
Guinness.
anything-
Although I would like to see that.
I think there might have been places who like turned their Guinness line into a craft beer
Right.
line that now would be like, we're going to sell
That
so
was
much more
that was
Guinness
very
if
much
we
a
flip it back.
2014, 15 thing, right? You got
Yeah.
Left Hand kind of popping off, and then like Old Chub from Oscar Blues. That was way more prevalent than we see now. It's pretty much just Guinness.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of the other. Like I know Boddington's really, in terms of Chicago, hasn't been in the market for a minute. That was kind of the only other bigger
Nitro.
player.
Maybe seasonally around St. Patrick's Day, you'll get a handful of like paddy wagons or
Yeah,
other places
yeah.
like popping on
Maprum
lines like that. but
regularly has Beguile's Neighborly Nitro on draft, which I appreciate. It's a nice beer.
It is.
Yeah, but Guinness is where it's at. With
I mean,
it,
Guinness
though, I think.
is king for sure.
For me, I like things to be, well, for me, all things are clear. Not as clear as they are sometimes for Nostra Douglas, but I like things to be clear. Maybe tinted brown a little bit. And what I'm talking about is no, don't get your mind out of the gutter, doctor. Are you an honorary proctologist?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Many honorary doctorates.
Got it. No, I mean the clear yet brown tint of beautiful glass with beer in it. I think we're going to see, not to drink out of, well, yes, to drink out of, but I'm not talking about a cup. I'm talking about a bottle.
Bombers.
22-ounce bombers. You heard it here first.
They're going to replace 19.2s.
Yes, bombers. Return of bombers. And
Fat tire and bombers.
6-packs, 12-ounce as well. I think glass is ready to see a comeback. Maybe
I agree.
in 2025.
That's going to be very
Or
slow moving.
2026.
I do think I could see that coming
I think
back.
because the equipment, it's just going to
Yeah.
take a little while.
yeah. The
It's a 5-year
production catching up to that.
prediction.
Yeah.
But there could be like environmental reasons. There could also just be
Price.
shipping reasons. Although I guess glass
Heavier
is
to
way
ship
more heavy,
glass, yeah.
so that's part of it. But maybe the price.
Unless they're using locally made glass to go with their locally
Blown.
Yeah, right.
locally blown glass. We're here
For
for
my
it.
locally-
We're here for it.
Locally made,
Sourced.
terroir
But I do
out.
think like we're talking about like maybe hard like people going back to traditional styles a little bit. Maybe packaging is part of that. It's for some brands, like maybe they go, part of the leaning into our brand and the story is like
cooler.
packaging it in bottles. Which
We're losing Nostradamus.
point,
We must keep going. We must keep going.
Well, you've made the bottle prediction on every episode of the show for the last 2 months.
Some sort of a bottle or growler
So that wasn't a
prediction.
I'm tired. That was a boring.
He's literally
Got it.
falling asleep because of your tape
Got
being
it.
so cold.
Got it. Got it.
Jake's mouth isn't even on fire anymore.
Jake,
His dick was so
Jake
cold.
looks like he's made out of charcoal at this point. He's not even dripping. He's a black
I'm just
husk.
vibing, dude. I'm just vibing. I'm vibing.
You're brittle, and when you talk, pieces of you are flaking off, and you're jet black. You look like you are made of
A
charcoal.
calcifer if it came to life.
Yes.
I guess calcifer did come.
I'll be logging these in my notes.
Yeah.
I'll be deposing you.
Listen,
shortly.
these are two separate lawsuits.
Nah, dude. We're combining them.
Don't
We're combining
lump,
them.
that's the sixth time I've been lumped
Okay.
in with him.
Business models. Does anyone else have one? that they
We're
would like
on
to say?
pouring methods.
Oh, yes. No, we're on format and serving predictions. That's
Which you
what
just
I
said.
meant.
You gave the brown bottle.
Okay. Does anyone else need to go?
Yeah, I still need to go. I'm going to take the other side. I'm going back into Poly Market. I'm betting against Jake and saying that the Czech lagers are actually just getting started, meaning the Lucre pour is also just getting started.
Just getting
you ain't seen
started.
nothing yet. We've been thinking
Where
of,
are we on the curve?
right
Mr.
now.
Douglas?
So right now, Czech dark lagers have been kind of generally outside of a brewery like Cohesion, where that's all they do. There's basically two. There's the dark, and then there's the, Bohemian, the golden.
Yes.
I think we're about to see some more seasonality dripping in with the Czech style. So I think we're going to see some Czech amber lagers and some in-betweens to basically make Czech a year-round seasonal rotator, filling these Lukers. And I think Czech is about to split from basically one of two things to a whole lot more.
The Polotamavi.
That was a
If you
third
will.
eye take from a couple
That was
years
my take
ago.
last year. Polotamavis.
There you go.
Yeah, they're on fire.
I mean, we're making one this year. I'll be full stop. I mean, we're making Czech beers. I'll say it. I love them.
I do too.
Tank beer.
Tank beer.
Tank beer. Oh, yes.
Award winning.
GABF bronze.
Well, does anyone else have a serving or format prediction?
Yeah, kegs. We're bringing back keggers. Dude.
Yeah.
We're having parties
Keg
again.
parties.
We're vibing.
Hand
We're-
pump keggers
Yes,
in tap
yes.
rooms.
Dude, Mike.
Smart.
All right, sorry. I'm trying to channel Mike
What about
through
party balls?
Dr. Strange body here. If you can come to me for just a moment here, Mike, I'm going to
My
need to
lawyer
start.
said I'm probably not supposed to talk to you directly.
I'm going to need to start
That's
doing
fine.
kegs of saison. I'm going to have at parties, and we're going
We-
to change the world.
Yeah.
Keg
A
stands.
keg stands
Keg
of
stands.
Saison.
The
Of
The other
$300
one-
half barrels of Saison. Sorry, go ahead.
The other one I wrote down, rest in peace, Cascade, is live from the barrel serving.
Right.
Vom Fass, right? Is that what they call it? Like in
I don't
Germany?
actually think it's going to happen, but it'd be kind
It'd
of
be
fun
cool.
if it did.
I know people want to do that,
Were those actually
I
coming
think
out
it'd
of
be
the
super
barrel, or
cool.
was it just rigged up to look like
Just
it?
rigged up.
but it'd be cool. It'd be cool. It'd be fun to be able to do that and to see it. I think it should have like a glass face to it, so you can see as it goes down. And it's lowering. Yeah, people can see it. That'd be kind of cool. All right, we have time for one more prediction, and it's open season. Whatever
Potpourri.
final predictions you want. So anything that we maybe haven't gotten to, that you just had just a scorching hot take. If you poured water on Jake, he would literally crumble into a pile of ash right now.
I think it's so hot it would just turn into steam before it hit him. It would sublimate before even
Wow.
touching him.
So if any final
couple,
any final takes?
Couple funny guys over here.
I'm saying the
Couple
takes
funny
are
guys.
hot, and the human vessel isn't meant to be on fire.
You're such a
for
poet the
an
way you
hour
describe
37.
my physical form.
Yeah.
It's very Whitman-esque.
Oh, well, thank you.
Leaves of Jake.
Use Jake. On
Exactly.
Pile on the ground.
Leaves
On-
of Jake.
Yeah.
Take.
I got a combo one. I'm gonna get real specific. This is like right or wrong. easily measurable.
Good.
The best kind.
Yes.
No gray areas.
You or Mr. Douglas?
The prediction.
Oh, got it.
What I see is two things that our buddies New Belgium are going to do. One, old fat tire is coming back, and it's going to come back in very vintage looking bottles. Like they're going to skip back like 3 brand refreshes ago and bring back an old looking bottle.
The one with that like collar around the glass
Quite
bottle
possibly.
or something. Oh,
They're
maybe
gonna
glass.
Go, so they're going to go at 100% glass.
Got it.
Well, not. They'll do cans too. 50% glass.
Got it. But 100% glass will be part of it.
100% they will do glass. While New Belgium's at it, so they're giving up on this golden ale fat tire. It's not working. They're just going
Right.
to take the splash of bringing back the amber ale and accepting that it's going to be smaller than it once was and not this golden farce anymore. That's done.
Yes.
The other thing they're going to do, and this is out there, they're going to acquire the brand brewery called Outlaw Mile High Lager. Are you familiar with this one? This
I'm
is like
not.
a Montucky competitor
Uh-huh.
that's huge, and it's in like almost all the states now. And they've gone big. I think New Belgium, they're a built-to-sell lager brand. Not much of a presence here, so I wouldn't see them much here. They might be here. But I think New Belgium is going to buy them rather than try to create a lager competitor. I think this one is on the rise, and I think they're going to acquire it because it's
Got
local
it.
to them, and
Yes.
it's also a national lager.
Love it.
Skip the creation part on that one.
Ricky Henderson, no more third person I've noticed. I'm sad to see that go.
Made him self-conscious about his
Sorry.
self-referential
Well,
third person.
I liked it. I was here for it. Mike, any doctor, sorry. Dr. Strange Mike,
Yes.
any final predictions?
I predict that my predictions will be better next year than they were this year.
I don't know. I don't know if okay, I don't see the same future as you. Maybe we've split off into different multiverses. Again, I have one. I don't know the legalities of this in this world, but in the worlds that I travel in, it's very much legal that we're going to finally see co-branding of beer and a gambling company. I think we're just going to finally just break down and have DraftKings and Bud
Drought
Light.
Kings?
Draft
Kings?
Yes.
Draft.
Yes, because I think betting has become so ubiquitous, and the booze world wants some of that sweet action.
Is it legal to put like betting money in a code on the inside of the
Become an addict of two things at
the
once.
24 pack?
I think is what they're going to say.
Miller highlights or whatever.
So 2 quick things. A category we didn't get to, next big cross-segment collaboration. Mine was
Yes.
going to be sports betting.
That's what mine was too.
Yeah.
The one idea I threw out that I, for a second, that I realized was a horrible idea. One day, just having lunch with a coworker, I was like, "What if we what if people could show a like busted parlay at the tap room, and they got like 10% off, but it had to have been like that day." But then I was like, "Well, I don't want to encourage people to get." So
Right.
it was like it's one of those things where you say it because you're just rapping. But then you're like, wait, that's an awful idea.
Yeah,
Never mind.
no,
Forget
Right.
it. Forget I ever
Well,
said that.
first, we're going to be giving away so much beer. So
Well, just a discount. You know, something that's not hurting you.
everyone's got a busted parlay.
Well,
It would have to be for Chicago Fire or something that you get a
Yeah.
10% off fever
If you
pitch.
bet on the fire and
Yeah.
lose, we'll at least give you a cold time on the house.
There we go.
our time is short. We are almost at the end of.
I mean, Jake's body's disintegrating, so
he's
All right,
that
my take
far.
is another legacy brewery will close or declare bankruptcy. I'm not sure how that takes form.
Bankruptcy.
Kind of like what we saw with Anchor. I think there'll be another Anchor. this
Anchor.
year.
Okay. By legacy, you mean like Deschutes or Sierra Nevada
I think
or
yeah,
something like
to
that.
put strict parameters that we can measure. I'll say a brewery that's existed since at least 1995
Got it.
Are they
That-
going to be
Give it 96. A whole bunch open at 96. Give it till 96.
All right, 96.
95 is before.
And it, let's
yeah.
put a barrel number on it. They peaked. They were producing at least 50,000 barrels as of 10 years ago.
Got it.
And no one's going to try to acquire them. It's just
Like
straight
they get
bankruptcy.
bought and they get shuttered and switched over.
Someone
Whatever.
else buys their brand,
Yeah.
tries to make the beers. No one likes them. And
Sure.
then it goes
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
The playbook.
No one likes us. We don't care.
You guys say that a lot, though, so I think you do care.
You would think that. Well, our time, I think, has fully come to an end. I want to thank all of you spirits for coming down to this plane of existence and inhabiting the earthly forms. Is there anything anyone would like to say before we leave? Who knows when we'll be back based on our previous recording schedule, so could be a while.
Could be a while.
Yeah. Well, thank you to...
I got one thing.
Okay.
I'll see your ass in court, Chris.
Oh. This is the sound of me quaking.
Not me. Not
Yeah.
me. Didn't say me.
It's true. Right.
I
Stevie
got
in
off
court.
one.
You must be talking about the moving violation I
basketball
got
court.
yesterday, where the cop says I have to go to court.
For running.
Yeah, for rolling through a stop sign. Yes. Yes. Is that a for sure thing? Really? Oh, okay. Well,
What was that?
court, we'll be having Sam Calgione on the show next month.
Oh, we better
So
plan
that's
something.
cool. We better do something good.
What are your takes, Sam?
Yeah, let's review Mike's. Well, thank you to the Third Eye. Might want to get some ointment on that, is my suggestion. And to Nostra Douglas, thank you as always, Douglas, for coming on. Of course, the Fade Master for keeping the tunes going and fading in and out. He's actually playing this, what is that, an organ that he's playing right now, or piano of some
I
kind?
believe that's a lute.
Ah. Ooh, there's birds chirping. Wow.
There's some waves
Yeah.
crashing on the beach.
He's
perhaps?
doing all that. He's fading all of this in real time. It's amazing. And, of course, to Mike Strange,
MD.
MD.
Honorary.
Always good. Just, yes, it's an honorary. We know that.
It's an honor.
Yeah, it is an honor. And I, of course, am Obi Chris Quinobi, the name that's so nice it just rolls off your tongue. So long, and we will see you in the future.
Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again, 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 again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again, 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 again. Remember this is what we wanted. Remember this is what we said. To never be heard or seen from again, 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 again.
And welcome back to the future.
I feel calmer now.
Yeah.
Now that we're out of that